Testing, testing. Hello, 1, 2, 3. This is episode 1 of I DJ My Life. I'm going to sound check it and intro it. I will be right back. All right. This is episode 1 of I DJ My Autobiography. So I'm going to DJ and then autobiography. This song that I'm playing right now is a Ross G song. It is called Gravity. It is off of an album called Overcast 78. This is my favorite hip-hop producer of all time. He just passed away several years ago. I discovered him because I was looking for illegal downloads of Sun Ra material online. Sun Ra is one of my favorite jazz musicians, and the majority of the jazz that I like, they have associations with Sun Ra and his orchestra. So this to me is, if you listen to this gentleman's entire catalog, this is the epitome of hip-hop, basic boom-bap hip-hop, abstracted to a very beautiful, intelligent, expressive level. All of his music does not sound like this. This song matches the brief story I'm going to tell you today. I'm going to turn it up so you can hear it a little bit. So I'm going to put this on my Instagram page, New African Vicar Beats, as a video. I'm going to try and keep it short to do so and do short morning excerpts. And then I'm going to put it as an audio format on my Bandcamp page. I'll link everything up. And I'm going to put the video on my YouTube page. All that information will be forthcoming. This is my dry run. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you a story, hopefully within the next 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you, let me intro. Also, the reason why I'm doing this, I had begun to talk with people to try and just understand things in my life as I grew older. And I'm in counseling, I talk with other people and read books, etc. So it's been extremely beneficial. And I noticed some of the periphery discussions I would have, or things that I had done, or choices I had made, they have a common root. And this is not like traumatic, horrible life discussion things. These are more of my observations about myself and my surroundings. And I enjoy art, and I like to combine both of them together. So this is me exploring themes in my life that eventually I'm going to actually turn into poetry and spoken word. Some of that will go up onto the Bandcamp page. So this is kind of a creative process also. So this, in 10 minutes, I am going to describe to you a time, an event in my life that shifted everything within me, changed me to the core. And it is a defining moment in my life. So this was 26 years ago, roughly. I'm 24. And I'm going to set, this is how it happened. I'm going to try and give it to you in the way that I experienced it, because it was just out of nowhere. So I am sitting in a church in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. My wife is beside me. We're there for the weekend. We're going to spend a weekend with this pastor and his family. So this is somewhere within the Saturday, I believe, that we're there. And this gentleman is telling me that he wants to give my wife and I a car, a house to live in, and a church to pastor, and then a salary. So automatic. And as I look back on it, I realize that our entire relationship, I thought it was something different, this gentleman and I. It turned out it was like a long interview process, and I wasn't aware of it. So this is what I'm hearing. I'm in this church, and the next day I'm supposed to be introduced. I'm going to talk it out and make sure it's accurate as a pastor. Currently, I am in this story. I am trying to start a small church in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. So with nothing in the projects, with some chairs and some people, thank God, and I learned a lot there. That's why I'm here, because I went to a small church growth conference, a long string of events. I met this man. So apart from so now I'm there looking at this man, and we want to give you a house to live in, a car to drive, a salary, and then we want to split our church where I'm at into another separate church, and we want you to pastor it. And I'm sure there was some understanding that I would be they're going to help train me and give me the positive feedback necessary to do it successfully. So this is the offer. And I say no. And the reason why I say no, in the title of this particular episode, this excerpt should be a pastor and a pedophile. That's how I'm going to name it. So the caveat in this is, where I'm at, a pedophile, a sexual abuser is about to be released into this community, and this individual wants to come to this church that has very specific and particular needs, and there are legal ramifications and everything. So we're there, and however this offer came up, this gentleman explained this situation to me and said, he asked me, this is what's happening. This gentleman's about to come out. He's a Christian. What are my ideas of, can people believe in God, overcome these types of situations? I'm 24, and I have like a small Bible study with sometimes 9 people. So and he's throwing this at me. So he says, can these types of people be redeemed? What would you do in these situations? He explained all the legal ramifications. How would you respond? And I told him my answer. That was it. Then they wanted us to take over this church and co-pastor, and as I mentored through this entire process. I say no. We leave there. We're supposed to spend the night and stay the weekend and go to church, the church next Sunday. I say no. We get all of our stuff from their house and we leave. That's not our first time there, so I was familiar with these people, but we go home. That's the last time I see them. People who were involved in all of this, some of them are still alive. I would eventually go to see them. I met this gentleman in Hyattsville, Maryland. The pastor of that church, I end up seeing him on TBN way back in the day. The other gentleman who was the main speaker, I was introduced to the gentleman who I'm with in Ephrata through this guy who is the administrator for the main speaker. He was on TBN. Way back in the day, that was a major thing. So I walk away. I don't see this guy anymore. That's it. And I make all these life decisions based on turning it down. The reason why I turn it down, is I believe it was the night before or the day before that. This gentleman he was a PhD. He was a trained psychologist or psychiatrist. I can't remember. But the day before or sometime before that, we were in like a mentoring session, I thought. And I believe this was like a long interview process is what it turned out to be, because I met the family. My wife and I met their family because they had said that their wife liked us, etc. So this was an interview. I didn't realize that. So I think I'm in like a mentoring session with this gentleman. And out of the blue, he tells me, he's asking me a series of questions. We're just talking, asking my opinion. This is all based around Jesus, Christianity, Bible, spirituality. So then out of the blue, he says to me, hey, I cheated on my wife 15 years ago and never told her. What would you do? What do you think I should do? Boom. I'm like, I'm 24. I'm looking at this guy. And I tell him what I think he should do. This was before they tell us they want to split the church with us, and this individual who is a child abuser wants to come there. And then he tells me about all the other things that go on in this church and what types of needs they're trying to meet. But then before, and to take over, help them with it and split it. But before that, he's dumping this big burden on me. So from there, that's my alarm going off. So from there, I go home and I tell someone I know who is a Christian. I tell them what happened. I said, this gentleman offered me this, and this is what's going on. I said, can you believe that? And they said, what did you say? Did you take the offer? That's what they're asking. I said, no, that's ridiculous. And I said after that, I said, and you know what? I said, I need to take a sabbatical. That's what I said. I need to take a sabbatical and just figure this thing out. So that set in, and there was a long argument and discussion from that point on. And then after that, I slowly shut down any type of operation that I was doing, prayer groups and things like that. And that's the moment I just, boom, started to make decisions based on three things. I said I wanted to be healthy and exercise. I felt like I missed a lot of life by restricting my viewpoint to a small segment of society and belief. So I wanted to read more. And then I said I read a book one time, and I just wanted to put my eyes on everything I ever wanted to see. That's all I knew. But the main experience was in that room when it felt like everything I was struggling towards was offered up to me in my face, out of the blue, with this one caveat that I carry this man's burden, and then I also, with him as my number one support, step into a very tricky situation. So I felt like Alice in Wonderland. I'm going to expound on that because I had a relationship with him. But this gentleman turned out to be some sort of archetype for the next 5 or 6 years of my life, where I constantly encountered that person in various colors, shapes, forms, sizes, genders. But that was the day I began to make decisions on what I had just seen and what I thought I needed to know. It shook me to the core in a healthy way, and it made me so much, in a way it was liberating and horrifying, because at one time I felt like my house of cards had crumbled, but then on the exact opposite side of that, I felt like it was a wall that fell, and then life was like mine to go out and live. Like God was my opportunity to explore, and it just made me funnier, I think, and more creative and sensitive. But that's the day. This is podcast 1. I'm going to see where I build from there.